So today we're going to go over how to properly apply a missed appointment fee to a patient's ledger and how to break their appointment after they've missed their appointment. So as you can see, we are on the appointment book view, and today we're going to use Joe Dirt. Now, Joe Dirt's appointment was scheduled today at 8 a.m. As you can see, we are about 20 minutes past Joe Dirt's appointment. So we would have already attempted to contact Joe at this point, and we were unsuccessful. So we are going to go into his appointment, and the first thing we are going to do is change the status of his appointment. As you can see, the status is currently marked confirm, because yesterday when we completed our first rounds, Joe confirmed his appointment time, location, and the amount due with us. So we're going to come back up to status, and we are going to change it to missed. What that's going to do is change the appointment status bar to pink and inform the back office that their patient has missed. So now I'm going to come down to the notes and I'm going to copy these. We're going to use these when applying the missed appointment fee to the ledger. Now that I have those copied, I'm going to hit OK. And as you can see, the status bar is now pink. The next thing I'm going to do is make sure the appointment is moved off of the schedule. We want to make sure that if a patient misses their appointment, we move them off the schedule as soon as possible so that we can leave open that appointment time for any walk-ins or emergencies. Now, the next thing we're going to do is go to Joe's ledger. Under Joe's ledger, you might notice that there isn't anything in there. Because Joe is a new patient, he hasn't had any procedures done with us before. And that also means we aren't going to charge him the $55. Now, even though we aren't charging him the $55 fee, we are still applying that procedure to his ledger so that we can track any patterns of history in the future. So we're going to come up to Transaction and go down to Enter Procedure. Under Enter Procedure, the first thing we're going to do is enter the procedure code for a missed hygiene appointment. The missed hygiene appointment code is D00001. As you can see over here on the right side, it now says missed hygiene appointment. Then you want to come down and make sure that the clinic is accurate, and it is CDP SSL, and then the amount. The amount will always auto-populate as 0. Now, since we aren't charging Joe, this is correct, but if he was an existing patient with us already, we would be changing this to $55. So anytime you are adding a missed appointment fee to a patient's ledger who is a current existing patient with us, you want to make sure that you do change that to $55. Now, the next thing we are going to change is the provider ID. You are going to do this for every missed appointment fee that you apply to a ledger, regardless if it's for a new patient, an existing patient, a hygiene appointment, a treatment appointment. You will always change this to new patient. So we're going to erase Dr. Cannon's ID and type in new P. Now, the next thing we're going to do is add. This is going to make it so that it's added on our procedure list to post to the ledger. Now I'm going to press OK Post, and as you can see, that has applied the missed hygiene appointment to the patient's ledger. Now, if you remember, when we were in the appointment, I copied the appointment notes. When you're applying this appointment fee to the ledger, you can't initially add notes into it. So after you've hit OK Post and it has applied to the ledger, you're going to go back into it by double-clicking and come down to Notes and paste the notes that you have copied. Notes are super important for missed appointments. When a patient comes back and we inform them of a missed appointment fee or any patterns that we have identified, it's really good to have notes to go off of. If a patient says, "Oh, I never received a call from you guys," or "No, I didn't ever confirm that appointment, I actually wanted to cancel it," we have these notes to go off of with dates, times, and exactly what was said. So I am now going to press OK, and those notes are in there. Now, the next thing that we want to do is break the appointment. We don't break appointments until the following day. So let's say today is now Saturday, and you're going through your check sheet, and you've come up to the part where you break the prior day's appointments. We're going to come to Joe's appointment, and we're going to double check and make sure that that missed appointment fee was applied to his ledger. So I'm going to right click and hit ledger. Okay, I can see there's a missed appointment fee, and I also want to make sure that they put detailed notes. So because we did put those notes in there, it is all good to go. So we're going to come back to Joe's appointment, and now we're going to right click and go down to break appointment. Now under break appointment, it allows you to choose the reason the patient appointment is being broken. So I'm going to hit this drop down arrow, and it's going to show me the different options that we have. Now because Joe had a appointment, and then when we called to follow up he didn't answer, this would be considered a no-show appointment. There wasn't prior notice given, and he also hadn't answered our phone call. Now, if Joe had called in an hour before or 10 minutes before and said, I'm not going to be coming in, and he didn't reschedule with us, that would be a phone cancellation. If the patient came into the office the day before or even 10 minutes before and said, I'm not going to be able to make my appointment, and they didn't want to reschedule, that would be an in-office cancellation. So I'm going to select no show and hit OK. So we're going to double click, and because I recently searched for Joe, he is one of the recent patients in my patient search box. So I'm going to double click, and I'm going to hit no. We're going to go to his family file. As you can see on his family file under missed appointment, it now shows that missed appointment date, and it has a 1 next to it. If Joe had had multiple missed appointments, it would show 2 or 3 or 4 depending on how many he had. Now the only way to have this happen is if you break the appointment. If you delete the appointment, it doesn't access the family file and put this information on there. So it's very important to make sure you always break a patient's appointment. Now, that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching.